Hey, what's up, everybody? EVGA here from SerpentX Special Forces. Today's sponsor of this episode of Caffeine and Crypto is DogeLord.com, where you see the shirt that you got here. Get involved and mine crypto. Today I have joining me the usual, my buddies, my cohorts. We got Savage Mine, Crypto Mikkel, and GPU Jesus himself, Nemesis. I welcome you all to join us in a caffeinated drink of some type. Coffee, energy, whatever you got.
I got coffee.
I got the Mountain Dew Amp.
Savage, you make sure you talk, buddy. What you got?
Folgers coffee, just regular old stuff.
A great part of waking up.
Yeah.
I drink the same thing. I drink just regular old Folgers coffee.
I think we have Maxwell. I haven't had
I'm a
Folgers in a
simple
while.
man.
What's up, Rapid Mining? Max Voltage
Simple
Chat.
man.
Thank you for joining us.
If I want to change the flavor, I'll change the flavor with, with like creamer or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many different flavors of creamer
There's
now.
so many different creamer flavors now. It's ridiculous. So, anybody see that drop last night?
The little flash crash.
Yeah, a little. Gotcha.
Right, like that was a nice liquidating event on those high leveraged exchanges.
Right.
For sure.
XRP hit 90 cents.
Gross.
I know, right?
Great for those that are trading it. You know what I mean? It was a great profit taker. If you were holding it, if you took profits, and you took profits in Bitcoin, I ain't mad at you.
The way that I
trade
look
them
at it,
crap coins for Bitcoin.
Right.
we mine crap coins for Bitcoin. So why can't you trade crap coins for Bitcoin?
I'll
let you be.
I got 20 XRP locked up in a wallet, and I can't move it because you know how you had that old school XRP wallet where you had to have funds in it in order to continue to use it. So at 20, that's the only XRP I have. It's locked up in that wallet, and I can't move it because I had to have it in order to have the wallet. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some people got money off of it and accumulated some XRP back when it was in the low 20s, teens, whatever, and sold at the high in the 90s. Great, congrats, good for you. But
Jay was saying he was up 150% in his trades of XRP, trading it. He's up 150%. I was like, nice. I mean, you do you, man.
If there are any
congratulations.
Cryptocurrency developers out there, how are you letting XRP and anti-crypto show you up? I mean, this is a call out to all of you shitcoins. You got an anti-crypto outdoing all the shitcoins. What the hell?
Now, that is kind of funny, but there's a lot of institutions and private governments utilizing it because the banks are trying to push it.
It's not governments that are really using it. They won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. The only real use case they have, and it's kind of subjective, would be MoneyGram, and XRP has spent well over $2 million to make it an option on MoneyGram. The only bank that was using it dropped them because they quote unquote they had no liquidity.
That's what I was talking about. The bank that was using them. I can't remember their name, but either way, it's not important.
It was some bank in Africa. That's all I remember.
Look at what we're doing now, though. On the share screen here, on the 25th, we hit a high of pretty much 19.4, almost getting to that all-time high of 2017, and then we dropped really hard, right? People took profits, understandable. I was expecting this, and we dropped all the way down to 16.1, 16.2, and now look at us. We got an ascending wedge forming here, which is good. We needed some pullback. We were kind of getting super overextended, overbought. It was time to chill out and let things happen. Now, if a 30% pullback did happen, and let me go back real quick because I'm not a professional like Jay. If you guys are interested in trading tips, definitely go check out Jay from DC Adventure. If you want a 30% pullback, that brings us down to 13.6, which is why some people are expecting Bitcoin hitting 13K before a new rally. Now, that may not be the case. These people aren't fortune tellers. They can't predict the future. That may not be the case at all. This may have been what we needed to regroup ourselves and stuff like that.
Considering we don't have retail FOMO right now.
Right.
This is all institutional. That's why it's like, this is totally a different market.
It is.
Yep.
Savage Mind, when there's a moment of quiet, I want you to say something. You're not going to sit here all stream.
I'm actually doing a little bit of like research and stuff. So
okay,
don't mind me.
You're gonna have a point POC for us on the next article here.
POC.
Yeah, point of contact.
No.
No.
Negative. Negative, Ghost Rider.
The pattern is full. So a few Bitcoin traders expect now a deeper correction, but data suggests the relief towards 18,000 would not be ruled out. The price of Bitcoin has been consolidating above 17,000 for quite some time now. We've seen that. We've been enjoying profits. At least I've been enjoying profits where I'm at. And it's not all profits, because during that initial jump up in Bitcoin, we weren't making as much on the altcoins, right? Some of the altcoins went down. This recent one, though, that we're climbing up, the altcoins have been riding that wave with it. And that's what we want. We want the high tide to raise all ships, not all the other ships to drown while Bitcoin gets to ride out.
But all the maxis would be like, I told you so if that happens.
Right. Bitcoin maximalist is what he's talking about. We got all these terms in the crypto world. I love it.
Right.
I think, dude, this is only the beginning. Crypto is still new. You got the institution into it, and different big people, companies or individuals, just trying to get as much as possible, right? So Bitcoin's already a scarce source or a scarce resource, and then you got the institution trying to get as much as it can, while we're over here, mining it and accumulating it. Now, does any one of us here in this live stream right now, whether it's in chat or talking right now, own? Well, I don't want to say that. Never mind. I was going to say own more than one Bitcoin. I don't care that people know, and I don't own more than one Bitcoin. I definitely don't. But the name of the game is to accumulate as much as possible.
As long as you got one full ticket, you're good to go.
I also have a lot of rifles and guns, so good luck trying to get it. Anyways.
Introducing a $5 wrench.
Brought to you by DogeLord.com.
Don't delay by today.
Don't delay by. Speaking of DogeLord.com,
you can put all of your keys in that backpack that just showed by.
With the $5 wrench.
You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Most expensive part will be that backpack.
So I did a sponsor spot earlier before we started the stream, and this episode is brought to you by DogeLord.com, who host a number of collections from DC Adventure, the Open Application Network, or Aeon, and Ion, and then myself. Ooh. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll throw that in the live chat here in a little bit. But I just want to thank DogeLord for sponsoring this episode, or special edition of the Thanksgiving special of Caffeine and Crypto.
Yo.
Let me see what chat's doing. Any readouts here? Crypto Noob came in. What's up, Crypto Noob? Joining us from the UK as always. Ace K.
What's up, dude? Max Voltage. That's funny.
Max Voltage is always here.
Over here watching these blocks just stack up quicker than anticipated.
I've got unknown crypto on my channel going. He bought some Stellar at the end of October for shits and giggles, and he doesn't regret it right at this point.
Right. I got some Stellar too, but I forgot where it's at. Let me check my portfolio. But yeah, I don't regret it right now. So what do you check? Mikkel just brought up something that's on screen right now. What are you checking out, Mikkel?
I'm watching the Ethereum Classic blocks. I'm just kind of watching them roll in because they were saying it's going to be like 4 p.m. estimated Eastern Standard Time, but
minutes left.
Yeah, there's no way it's going to.
Say that again, Savage.
It's still got about 3 hours and 20 minutes left.
3 hours and 20 minutes to the actual. So
861 blocks to go.
Yeah.
15-second block times, or actually it was a little bit quicker than that. So it's like 13 or 14, I believe.
Yeah, it's going pretty quick.
Yeah, so still quite some time there.
So tell the community what's happening. I'll let you guys take lead on this. What's going on with Ethereum Classic?
A lot of cool stuff, actually. If I can talk about it for a second.
Go.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they're forking to the ECIP, Ethereum Classic Improvement Proposal 1099. It's codenamed Thanos, and it's basically going to hard fork the network at 11.7. So 11,700,000 is the block height. Crypto Mikhail can probably say what they're at right now, but it's
11,699,145.
Yeah, so the main focus of the fork is to help prevent these all too often 51% attacks on Ethereum Classic. So that's one part of this actual hard fork and the upgrade. Another thing that's going to kind of a side effect, I don't know if they meant to do it or not, but a side effect of that implementation of help to prevent the 51% attack is that they're extending, I think they're doubling the epoch time from 30,000 blocks to 60,000 blocks. And because they're doing that, the DAG size is going to decrease a lot. And I think it's going to go down to like 2.47 gig or something like that.
Yeah, so 3 gigabyte GPUs can join in again.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of a side effect of this.
E3s can go mine it again.
I mean, exactly. Mm-hmm. You're talking about some like old hardware, 1063 gig GPUs, getting 22 mega hash or whatever it is.
Especially people that had a bunch of 4 gig cards that were mining Ethereum recently that can't now.
No doubt. And so that's kind of a cool side effect of this whole thing is bring it, because it's going to also distribute the hash rate a lot more, right? So because there's like 30% of the GPUs that are mining that are, what they say, between 3 and 4 gig, about 30% are that size. So, not all of those are mining Ethereum. Some of them are mining other projects. Actually, none of the 3 gig are mining Ethereum right now. Some of the 4s, but they're on their last leg here.
So they're mining various projects such as, let's say, EtherGem, Elysium, stuff like that. Some of the less metaverse, stuff like that. They're not helping secure the Ethereum Classic network. And Ethereum Classic has been a victim of what in the past?
A lot of 51% attacks. I think they're up to 4 or something like that this year.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, they had a pretty good, sized network when the 51% attacks were happening. I don't know. Changing the algorithm isn't going to stop that.
They're not changing the algorithm, though. They're just changing DAG size.
Their hard fork isn't going to change the attacks. It can increase the amount of hash rate on the pools, and hopefully people distribute it. You got to remember,
so
1% attack isn't an attack.
Savage, what are you going to say?
That's a different algo. It's very similar, but it's ETC hash. So this hard fork is an algorithm change as well.
Yes. Slight algorithm.
Slight, yeah. You can use.
So it's
you can use all the same settings. You'll actually see a little bit of a performance increase on Nvidia GPUs because of the DAG size decrease.
So do we need to retest our GPUs on that algorithm?
I don't think the hash rate will change.
Well, they have a test net.
They have a test net so that we can go find out what our hash rate would be on that site. So okay, all right.
You'll find out in like a couple hours.
So when I get back, I'll test it against the old and new.
Is it gonna? So they are changing algorithm altogether.
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
Because then the E3 Antminers won't be able to mine on it. Then
I think that's true. I don't think that they will be able to.
I think they will be able to once they release a firmware. They have to release firmware.
Who has an E3?
Because it's still
test it out.
Still Ethash at the heart of it. They are changing a few things, but it is still Ethash at the heart of it. There are multiple Ethash coins that are on Ethash, but not an ERC20 token. You know what I mean? Like it is still a thing. They're changing the variant of it a little bit.
Because I just thought it was just going to be that they're changing the DAG size.
No, that's not all the time.
You can see right there on Serpent's screen, he had where you have to include some things in certain miners, and there's not all
T-Rex
the miners
miner
are going to support it right away.
Yep.
But
T-Rex miner, G miner, LOL miner, and Phoenix miner.
Yep.
If you want, I'm throwing this article in the description of this video right now. I'm seem to be sucking at life and not finding where the ETC block height is right now.
I just go to the block explorer.
Go to etcnodes.org.
ETC.
Yeah, I'm watching Block Scout.
So okay, then what?
/Thanos.
/
And that'll get you to the countdown timer and all that.
Okay, there we go. All right, thank you for that. I'll put this also in the description. So we're at block height 11,699,165, and we need to get to 11.7 million.
Yep.
So there's going to be an algo change. This is going to allow individuals with the lesser cards to participate and help secure the network. Would this help entice those miners to come back and because they're coming back, it actually secure the network? Because you weren't concerned about the 51% attacks there, Crypto Mikkel. You were saying that that's not really a concern.
No, I never do. 51% attacks are by design. 51%.
They're going to happen if they want to happen anyways.
Yeah, there's tons of coins.
It's whenever you do a reorg.
Ethereum's being like 60% attacked. You know what I mean? Like all the time. And it's never an attack. But the moment that you have a
greedy
double
miner.
spin, the moment you have a double spin, that's the attack.
That is a pretty funny picture. 1660 Ti. What I'm concerned about was the 1060 3 gig. The 1063 gigs can get back in the game. That's one of the reasons why I got rid of my 1063 gig is because all this was happening. DAG side was increasing and was no longer as relevant as it was.
Rabbit over here. He's saying he's curious of how many of the cards are still around that are miners and how like the difficulty go up. He goes, think the big change will happen in December when the 4 gig drop off Ethereum. Says they started at first. No ASIC would be on the network. They stated,
Yeah, according to Hive OS, they're not. The word that they're getting is that ASIC manufacturers are not even going to try to upgrade firmware for this or anything like that. So
no,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, the upgrade from Bitmain on my E3 amp miner that was supposed to allow it to where I could mine Ethereum Classic still didn't work.
Yep.
The DAG file was just too hardcore.
Have not seen anything, so I can't validate, but off of my own theory and knowing, I would imagine that, the Forest Kittens, they've been able to mine Ethereum for a minute, and I would imagine that someone could rewrite the bitstream quick enough and efficiently enough that it's possible you'll see FPGAs on the network. That's my assumptions. I don't know
definitely
FPGAs.
But
if you can park an FPGA on there, ASICs are around the corner.
Well, they've already stated that an E3 just needs a firmware update in order to do that. But as they've stated, that they might not do that.
Brian, test it out on your E3 after the fork and let us know in the Discord community. That'd be really good to know. Very interesting information here that I'm looking at this article from Cointelegraph, and I'm not putting every single article in the description of this video, guys, so I do apologize. We're just kind of chilling and hanging out with the guys for Thanksgiving special, but I appreciate everybody who's showing up. There was actually several instances of the 51% attack on ETC. I thought that this was 4.
There was
several. There's a couple in the past.
There was almost 3 in a month. This year.
In this year,
but there was some at the beginning of the year. There was a few last year. Like it's been
one. Yeah, there was one last year that resulted in, while I was mining it, I went from getting 5 ETC in one day, and I had almost 22.
What, back in 2018?
Yeah, that like no, it was last year, right at
Early
the beginning
2019.
yeah, right at the beginning of the year.
When
I
rewards were doubling.
Yeah, I went
for
from
no
5
reason.
Yeah, I went from 5 ETC to almost 22 on the one day. And the second day, instead of having 5, I had gotten 12 instead of 5.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
So
ETC has been suffering this for a little while.
What about Hive OS people? So if they have the supported miners that we looked at on the 2 miners page, will Hive OS automatically update?
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
Yeah, it's set and ready. I have a flight sheet ready to go.
Yep.
So
because I have a few 4 gig cards that I'm like, I'm curious of what we can do here.
And I mean, Ethereum Classic has been one of the more profitable coins to mine for quite some time, besides Ethereum itself. And 9 times out of 10, if you're using NiceHack or NiceHash, you're going to be probably participating in mining Ethereum Classic for somebody.
Does NiceHash support the fork? Have they stated they're supporting the fork?
That's a good question.
They're not. They're not.
They're not. They're not supporting the fork. So then, might not be an option.
Hang on, there's a blog post. Let's see here. As you may already know, Ethereum Classic will be hard forking, yada yada.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Notifications. We decided to not support ETC hash.
Algorithm on NiceHack. There you go.
Dude, that's not good. That's
good. That is a good thing in my opinion, because there's some of the issue.
That's because you can purchase the hash rate or the hashing power from that place to attack or use implement a 51% attack against ETC. That and mining rig rentals.
Yeah. So what about mining rig rentals?
No.
Do they say anything? Are they going to support it?
Oh my
I hope not too, because all these rental area, these hash
you should be able to.
Are the problem.
Mining rig rental, you can just choose. I figured they would support it, because if I choose to mine it and then I want to rent out my rig, all they got to do is add that algo and that feature, and everybody can do it.
Yes, Chan, going 3 gigabyte cards and 4 gigabyte cards can mine it. That is a thing. Right now, 3 gigabyte cards are kind of like the slows you want to go to mine any kind of altcoins. Zcash is 3 gigabyte minimum. I think Aeon is 2. I think, but I know 3 gigabyte cards you can mine Aeon, like Beam, Raven. But that's kind of like it.
There's nothing. I haven't found anything yet, so that's a good question. But with mining rig rental, it's a little bit different, because you can just manually choose. Here's my machine, here's the algo I'm going to be mining, and here's what's availability, and then you can go from there. So I don't see why they wouldn't support it. But yeah, that's a very good question. We'll have to find out at a later date and time. But just to throw some statistics at you guys, according to the statistics captured by Hive OS, about 24% of its users are still deploying 4 gigabyte cards, and only 2% of all devices mine Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic's hash rate is currently just above 1% of that of Ethereum. So even a small percentage of Ethereum miners migrating to ETC will significantly boost its security. And if we go over here, the total network hash rate is around 3.84. After the 51% attacks, it was barely 1% or like 1 terahash or 2 terahash. But we're already at 4, so I wonder what's going to be at after the fork. I'm going to keep an eye on this and see how it goes. But if you guys aren't aware, every one of us, GPU Jesus, Nemesis, Crypto Mikkel, Savage Mind, and myself all have a Twitter page. If you aren't already following us, you should, because we normally post what updates in there, or if somebody posts an update, I would normally retweet it. So definitely check us out on our following Twitter pages if you haven't already. Is there any additional news you want to throw in on the ETC fork there, Savage Mind, or anybody?
Sure, I've got something. So if you look at the hash rate of Ethereum and then the hash rate of Ethereum Classic, and you do the computation for like 24%, because they said that 30% are 4 gig and less GPUs, but some of those are 3 gig, which can't mine Ethereum anyway. So I subtract the 6% and just say 24%. If 24% of the hash rate that's currently on Ethereum and whenever the 4 gig GPUs go away, so you take 24% of that total hash rate, and if you apply that directly to Ethereum Classic, like for example, people just switching right over to Ethereum Classic from Ethereum, then you're looking at, I got some notes here. I think that, wasn't it? Yeah, ETH is at like 264 terahash. Ethereum Classic is at 4 terahash. So 24%, you add that in there, and it comes up to 67 terahash. So what we could see, I doubt we'll see this because obviously it won't be profitable, but imagine ETC's network going from 4 terahash to 67 terahash, like in a short amount of time. That would not be good. So for profitability and all that stuff.
What if they test it without breaking anything?
Something to keep in mind.
This is my estimation here, Savage. This is probably what we'll see. This is my speculation. I could be wrong. I'm not, dude. I could be wrong. Don't take my information as biased.
I think we'll double, maybe a little over double. I'm figuring like 8 or 9 terahash.
Thinking like,
place your bets, gentlemen. Place your bets.
I'm thinking like 6 terahash. I'm not expecting a crazy jump. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but if
a lot of people will wait.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to wait, and it won't be.
They're going to see how it's going to affect.
I kind of
want a calculation of moving an entire
I want to see people move away from ETC, and I want to get some of those gains from ETC as everybody jumps off the network. And I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, max voltage. I know that it's the total number of GPUs, but I'm talking about. Well, that's true. You got to actually, you got to take that off because not all that hash rate. It would be. Yeah, you couldn't apply the percentage directly to the hash rate. That is true. Good point.
Yeah, because like you got all the ASICs people like myself. It's like that
was gorilla math.
I've got a lot of it's like I still got some good amount of ASICs going on ETH network. So, and I know other farms that are pure ASIC on ETH, and you're talking they've got. Probably about 40 or 50 terahash worth of ASICs.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Let me see if I can find some stats on like the actual hash rate, the actual percentage of the hash rate. That's a good point.
I'm throwing up a poll right now, everybody.
Your top 20 wallets on Ethereum that are mining are ASIC farms. And it used to be the same way with Ethereum, and I was in the top 20 on Ethereum. On Ethereum Classic, it was like that, and I was in the top 20 at one point in time. Once upon a time.
Yeah, you'd have to know how much of the total hash rate to apply that 24% to it.
Mm-hmm.
That those GPUs specifically.
Yeah, I would say on the Ethereum network, I would say probably a quarter to maybe a little over a quarter of the hash rate is actually GPUs.
Yeah.
All right, posting the Twitter link in the live chat. If anybody wants to go and comment on the poll, feel free, retweet. It's only 1 day long, so let's get some people to post their thoughts.
Hey, I have a thought one for you guys. Die Hard. Is that a Christmas movie or no?
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
Even though it was made in July.
Yep.
That gets asked every Christmas.
I know, right? A lot of people are agreeing with that. It is a Christmas movie. It took place during a Christmas party.
All right. So, moving on. If you have any questions about Ethereum Classic, feel free to hit up the gentleman that's joining me in the stream. They're very knowledgeable and highly respected in the crypto mining community, and I appreciate them to be my colleagues and friends. Moving on.
We'll talk about that later tonight, like on PCA.
Yeah.
What
by the time it comes time for that show tonight at 8 p.m. Central.
Yep, we'll go over it. I'll have
Before
testing results.
Would have happened. So
yeah, I'll be talking about the E3 if it worked or not, all that good stuff, and we got the 6800 burn pattern here.
Right?
Savage, you're more than welcome to join us tonight.
And the live stream?
Yeah, you're more than
Savage,
welcome.
do it.
We can chat it up and talk about it.
Because you're very knowledgeable in the ETC. That's why I communicate with you. You know what this picture reminds me of? You guys remember when the protective shell of the shuttle, the space shuttle, the tiles were burning up in the atmosphere? That's what this reminds me of right here.
Or that almost looks like a dog skid mark, right?
So, Crypto McKill actually sent this to me, so I'm hoping he's got some information on it. But the Hotspot Radeon
I came across this and shared it with everybody. As soon as I saw this, I'm like, oh my god!
So they're not using thermal paste or thermal pad. They're using a graphite thermal pad.
Yep.
And that thing is it's a very thin, like 0.2 millimeter thick pad, and it's very good at providing a level surface for the IHS and the heatsink to connect to, but I don't think it's very sufficient. So one of the first things I'm going to do is replace the thermal pad with thermal paste. And if you guys haven't checked it out, yesterday I did a stream on the Gigabyte Eagle RTX 3080 because we were having issues getting to the hash rate which we expect these 3080s to hit on the Gigabyte Eagle. And about 80% to 90% of the issues that we're having with those cards is due to Gigabyte just simply not adding thermal pads to the back of the PCB, because GDDR6 is what, Nemesis?
It is a flip chip design setup. So all the heat is closer to the circuit board, not to the cold plate for the cooler.
And we know this, right? We're GPU miners, we're tech guys. We know this, and manufacturers should know this. But still, they're cheaping out by not adding $6, $10 worth of thermal pads in the back of the PCB. That's all they need to do, and that would greatly increase the thermal conductivity of the GPU.
To their own defense, now, if you were just putting these cards into a gaming situation, or you're just watching movies on there, or just doing a Zoom, you don't need all that. Right. It's when you do heavy load. So anybody who does content creating, anybody that does video editing and rendering and all of that, mining, they're going to need the extra cooling solution. I'm kind of irritated with my 3090 over this aspect that I can't keep the memory modules cool enough for them to not lose hash rate. I don't know if you can hear my fan in the background, but I got a Delta fan sitting on the back of a 3090 while the 3080 is sitting at a whopping 38C, mining full load at 97 megahash on Ethereum, where the 3090 is sitting at like 52, 53C, and it's getting 115 megahash on there.
I can hear it.
Oh, yeah. And if I don't have that fan on there, Hive OS errors out. And I think what my guess is that the memory controller on the card gets overheated and it starts glitching, and then Hive has a heart attack. And it's all because because they're putting memory on both sides of the circuit board. So all of that heat's going right into the circuit board, and there's no cooling for the circuit board. Even on a 3090, it's like, great. You put a metal backplate on there. I'm cool with that. You put a copper pipe in there to try to utilize and spread the heat out across the backplate, and it's still overheating.
Right.
I almost want to get a temperature probe in there and put it near one of the memory modules and see exactly how hot this sucker's getting. And I know that that's what the issue is with these 6800s, is that they're trying to boost these things up to maximum. They were like, oh look, our 6800 can boost up higher than Nvidia's can, and we can do it stable. But look at what they're doing to their thermal pads.
Right. Right.
And it's like I would almost like to get one of these, and then I want to sit there and put plastic gauge in between the copper cold plate and the VGA chip and see if it's actually compressing onto the VGA chip flat.
Kind of like what Gamers Nexus does to test the pressure or the mounting pressure.
Yep, I want to test that and see if we're actually getting even mounting pressure. Because if you look at the Igor's lab pick, you can see the center had good contact, but that upper edge.
Yeah.
And that's telling me that it's not flat.
No, and if you're looking at this picture right away, look at it, guys. So we got contact here in the upper left-hand corner and in the middle, but then this is almost like, I would say 60 to 50% of it not making sufficient contact.
Right, and if you look at the center, even though it's burned, it's not a round pattern. I would almost expect if it was a good mounting pressure,
it would be a round pattern.
Round, yeah.
Right. And so, you know, choosing the right thermal paste with brains, there's a lot of thermal paste out there. If you wanted my recommendations, I always go with Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut, and I know it's a little bit more expensive. I just get the 5-gram one because I always replace thermal paste on my GPU, especially with mining 24/7. You got to keep.
This is the one he's talking about.
Yeah, that's a big.
And then the other one is MX4.
MX4 is a good thermal paste. You want something with high watts per meter Kelvin. That's W-/MK. You watts per meter Kelvin. You want good thermal dissipation. So realistically,
the MX4 is got 8.8 watts per meter Kelvin. The Hydronaut from Thermal Grizzly is 11.6, I want to say, watts per meter Kelvin, somewhere right around there.
And the one that I used yesterday for the RTX 3080 is the Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut Extreme. Now, it only gives you an extra 2 watts per meter Kelvin, but the 30-gram round container is $100, so it's not worth it. Just get Cryonaut or MX4, and you'll be just fine. Thermal pads, maybe I'll do a video, kind of like what not what Nemesis is talking about to test out the mounting pressure, because you can see the screw right here, kind of showing
bottomed out.
Yeah, it's not applying sufficient force onto that GPU die or connecting the IHS through the pad, through the
and
die.
Putting a washer on there is not going to help. You're going to bow the circuit board, and that's going to cause the VGA chip to potentially unsolder ball itself when you crack the solder joints because you just flexed everything. Don't do it.
Right. Now, if you switch from a thermal pad to thermal paste, you may have to put washers on, but you're risking what Nemesis just mentioned.
I don't even think that you would even need to do that, even if you put thermal paste on there, because if you're applying enough on there, the problem is if you get it too thick, you're going to have an insulating effect. So
wait, there's no thermal pads on the back of the 6800s?
No.
Oh my goodness. Well,
nothing.
Good thing I still got the -8 pads because I'm going to have to use that. This pad, though, if this is the reference card, this pad looks like a 1 millimeter or 0.5 millimeter, but I can't tell.
He custom cut it to go into it like that.
Good. Yeah. Well, if you read the article, they say 3 millimeter. But
is it 3 millimeter?
That's what the article says. If you scroll down one more.
Yeah, 3 millimeter crumb pads. Okay, so I got 3 millimeter. Okay, good.
That's really thin. You know what I mean? Like looking at the picture,
that looks thinner than 3 millimeter
to me personally.
But it's level. But if you look at it, it's level with the spring retention, and that is pretty thick.
Yeah.
But I would think it wouldn't be 3. I think it would be more like maybe 1.5, 2. Just looking at it. But I could be wrong.
I mean, adding 3 would definitely, I think, be good.
So look, compared to Nvidia, AMD has put the memory a lot closer to the GPU die, and that's a good thing. That can also cause issues with interference as well. Like if you look at the GeForce die, there's at least a finger width between the GPU outer silver shell or protective area and the memory modules, where AMD we're looking at a 1/4 inch on the right, and then
your thermal you are throttled to the farthest away memory, so you could put a bunch of them really close to the VGA chip, and then you look above it in that picture and you can see that they're a lot further away above, so they're going to be only as fast as the 3 above it that are as far away because of data travel.
So
you'll see them sweat marks.
What he's talking about is, say this is the memory voltage is coming from this area right here on the GPU, right below where all four of us are sitting on your screen, and this memory die or module is all the way over here. The voltage that needs to get all the way over there is going to be less than the one that's right here towards the bottom right. And that can cause some stability issues and a number of different things. And
that's why Nvidia split the memory voltage on both sides.
Right. We got a controller on the left, and when we have a controller on the right. And I think there's even one on the back on the reference, but I'm not sure on the Gigabyte. Each manufacturer can design it however they want.
Right.
Now, I saw a video pop up on my screen though, which I have no information on, so don't count me on it. But it said don't buy AIB models. I have not had a chance to watch it, but the reference card has some issues. The AIBs has some issues. Any GPUs are going to have some issues, and it's us as techs and miners, gamers, and others to do our due diligence to just look at the card and be like, okay, I'm having a trouble here. What can I do to fix it? Whether it's adding thermal pads, replacing the thermal paste, or maybe if you know how to do shunt mods or any type of hard modifications, you can do that too. But I wouldn't recommend that if you're not an expert.
Right, and I'm kind of more curious and going because like whenever AMD was like, yo, we're gonna have the first bit of launch, and then we're gonna have 300% more on the second launch with the AIBs, and they didn't have 300% more. And I think that they all caught it before they shipped them out and was like, these are the ones that passed. And that's what got shipped out.
Well,
Coin has a question. He says, would you buy the RX 6800 XT or 6900 XT for mining? I mean, wouldn't buy a 6800 XT because you can probably eventually will be able to mod, just like we've always been able to.
You can mod the 6800 to be an XT.
The only thing that the XT's got is it has the better cooler on it.
It's a thicker cooler. So when he says better cooler, the thickness of the cooler itself is a lot bigger than the 6800. Now, if you stay tuned to the channel, I do have a 6800 XT on order. It's just going to be a minute before it gets here. It's better that I didn't pay eBay prices or anything for it, but I did find a way to get one. Unfortunately, the people we get this GPU from is going to take a hot minute.
Right, it'll be next year when he gets his.
Right, but the cooler is a lot thicker on the 6800 XT, and I'm thinking the 6900 XT is going to be a 2.5 or 3-slot design card where the cooler is even thicker. Yep. AIB models is what I always recommend going for, but as soon as the AIB models came out, they were gone, like in milliseconds. I couldn't even do anything. So stay tuned to the channel. I will have some content for you on that.
I know, and Nefarious was trying to get you a card so badly.
Dude, that pissed me off because
oh my God,
he stayed up all night.
He knew beforehand when the man, because I was there with him. I was like number 13th in line, and the main store manager came out and said, if you bought a card in the last 30 days. We will not sell you one, and we'll check it against your address and your ID. And they were trying to give me a hard time because I was 1 day over.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, you're giving me one. I'm over to 30 days. It's been 31 days for me, so suck it.
Nefarious Technology stood all night out there for me trying to get me a card, only to get shafted in the end. So if you guys haven't heard of Nefarious Technology, he's a community member and friend of ours. Check out his streams. And he's got some video cards, and he's got actually, what does he have? A 6800 XT or a 6800?
He's got a 6800. He's got a 3080 and a 3090.
So I helped him.
I helped him get the 3090. I went there for him on that one. And then at the same time, he got the 6800. And then for his B-Day, he got a 3800 from the community.
Oh, man. Well, I just feel bad because he spent all night up there trying to get me a card only to get shafted in the end. So I sent him some Bitcoin to hold him over and thank him for his time because he actually made an effort. And he has a valid point. If he's trying to build systems for his clients, and he's having to deal with all these bots and scalpers, his clients are going to have to wait months just to be able to have their systems built. And that's unfair because the 5 people around him, especially the people in front of him, were bragging in the line, oh, I'm just going to sell mine on eBay.
Yeah.
So it's an unfortunate situation that we're in right now, guys, and with the high demand and low supply, bots and scalpers are making a killing. And I would love, honestly, to be in the bot game myself because it's pissing me off. But it's one, immoral, which I can get past the moral aspect of it. As long as I can get you guys the
I can
cards.
swallow my pride for that one.
Yeah, if I can get it's an exclusive club, so there's only certain bots that can do it. Not all bots can do it. If you go and spend $100 on a certain bot, it's not going to be able to do all the websites that you want. 3, if I did, I promise you, it would be for the community. It would be like, all right, you need one? All right, bet. Let's work out something. I'll send it to you. Bet. Let's do this.
I was thinking the exact same way.
That's what I've been trying to do, Savage, but it's an exclusive club, and to get in, it's all about timing. And it's all about being in the know and the right people and getting notifications on a certain platform. It's just really hard. But I do have a 6800 XT on its way, and once I get it in my hands, I will have some testing and some data for you guys as soon as possible. Here's the mining performance of this 3060 Ti, which we were looking through some pictures while we were talking. Just a generic design from Gigabyte, what we've seen. This is the Gigabyte Eagle. And it's nothing new. We've seen this before.
I'm ready for these.
These cards should be really good.
It'll be a good, kind of takes me back to the 1660 Ti day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
a good hash per watt for your dollar. Like, this is a good budget.
120 watts. 120 watts is what we're seeing here, being drawn from the card, and we're getting 61 mega hash. Savage, how does that factor into your chart? 0.48?
If it's getting 61 mega hash, that makes the 6800 like obsolete.
If you're not running, a Zen 5 processor or whatever.
So
that's 0.51, 0.51. Let's do it even 60. Let's just do 60 divided by 120. That's 0.5 on the chart.
What mega hash are they saying it gets?
61.2, but I just did it even 60. Just do 61 or 61.2.
Yeah.
And so that's actually damn good, guys. That's really good.
Right, and the 6800 on a mining rig is only getting 61 mega hash.
And what's the speculated cost of these GPUs?
$399.
And how much?
$399 for reference. They were saying
I saw $349.
Okay, maybe for reference models, and then I was seeing it was a little over $400 for some of the AIB partners. Depending on your AIB, of course, you'll vary in cost. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. And if you look at the mining picture again, like you can see that GPU-Z still doesn't know what to do with it. So there's still something probably still left.
There's some driver optimizations and minor kernel optimizations that the miners can do to increase the hash rate of just a little bit more.
I'm guessing at least 65 mega hash.
And Nvidia is already dogging all the miners, blaming us for the shortage of GPUs. It's all our faults now.
I was reading about that, and then if you think about it, they said 6%. If you think about it, they said that
we account for 6%.
We account for 6%, and if you go look at their sales, like that's like nothing.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
So if you got 100%,
so how are you going to hate on us?
Right, you got 100% of these 6%. GPUs. 6% out of 100% went to the miners. How are you sitting there blaming us?
You can't.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, just mathematically, if you look at math, it's awesome math.
So
the numbers don't add up. I don't know.
The 3060 Ti would be on par with the RX 5700 XT and 5700 because those cards, when modded, can hit around close to 60 mega hash, and the 3060 Ti is doing that unmodded and unoptimized, and it's going to be around the same price point as the 5700 XT. So this might be a good card, just like the 1660 Supers and TIs were, to build a 8-card or 6-card GPU rig out of. So I'm very interested in these GPUs, and it looks like the community is too.
Don't worry, they're going to dog on us, and nobody's going to sit there and say anything about all these other reviewers getting, 6, 7 graphics cards.
Oh, they would. Hey, the memory interface is 256 versus 192.
That's
good.
Is the TDP 180. Is that what it says there?
200.
200.
200.
Which means that we should be able to get that thing to run around 100 watts.
Oh, sorry, I was
muted
myself. So yeah, so it's saying TDP of 200, right? So the mining thing that we seen, that was at a plus 1200 on the memory and 120 watts. So they undervolted and took the memory up. So there is already room on the table. Like if you want a full wattage it, like you should be able to see 200 watts. So
I'll probably put it around 68, maybe 67 mega hash.
Yeah, I'm thinking like for like once drivers come out, like I was saying, 65 mega hash to be efficient at levels that they currently are of this showing. But
with like a high of like 75, maybe
sure.
80
Really?
mega hash.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't maybe.
I don't know about
It
75,
might
80.
be pushing.
I
I
don't know
think it
about
could be
75,
pushing
80.
7. I think it could be pushing 70. As we
Crypto
speak,
Miner
if you
Tips,
let
thanks
it
for
be.
stopping by, bud. I saw you.
Yeah.
I just haven't been as talkative. My bad, bud.
Reliable it would be like.
I appreciate you, though.
Below. Reliably.
Jedi J, what's the 3700, 67 mega hash at 125 watts? 3700. What are you talking about?
I think he's meaning.
3070?
I think he got his zero misplaced.
3070, 67 mega hash, 125 watts. Is that what the 3070 is pulling?
I don't know.
Yeah, because the 5700 XT and the 5700, you can get down to 125 watts or lower if you really tune it.
Yeah, I got Carl.
But almost CI is going to be very comparable.
He's got 50 plus mega hash between 110 and 115 watts on the 5700 XT. No BIOS mod.
On a 5700 XT?
Yep.
Why were some people able to get 6260? I guess it just wasn't stable.
No, they're just pushing them.
Okay. Well,
because like I was able to get Nefarious let me check out his Lisa Sue edition 5700 XT, and I had
Red Panda Mining in the house. Go ahead.
Panda.
And I had his card at 58 mega hash top. It wouldn't go any higher.
Well, I know my 5700 XT, because it's not as good of a card as some of the AIB models, can only hit
What's up, Big Crypto Dave?
56, 58,
Nice.
57.
How you mofos doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. How about yourself?
Don't tell me how to live my life. Canadian Voscoin.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man.
Well, we got about 5 minutes, gentlemen. We're not going all the way to Red Panda's mining. Red, are you doing any streaming today? Let me know in the live chat if
This
you're
is
doing
at
any
like 4
streaming.
p.m. Central Standard Time. It's
What
like
is?
way later. His live stream.
Who? Oh, Red Pandas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. We're not streaming all the way to Den, dude. I got to go pick up my boy from the airport. Y'all
His
can have a
stream
good day.
is way later. Yeah, 4 p.m. right now. I can see it. 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Dang.
It's
Well,
way in the afternoons.
I appreciate everybody coming around and hanging out with us. This was a Thanksgiving special with Crypto Mikkel, Savage Mind, GPU Jesus Nemesis.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. I'm going to throw a couple
What up,
things in the live
Yashnik?
chat. Yashnik, I wanted you to come on with us, buddy, but I know you stayed up late hanging out with the DCA team. I think, what time did you guys stream to last night?
Oh, like 11.
It was almost a 2-hour stream.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys, doing a late live stream last night, taking care of your families and then turning around and getting on with me. And Savage Mind, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the knowledge you have in this community. So definitely keep doing what you're doing, man.
Don't let me do live math.
Don't let you do live math. I did post a Twitter poll earlier about the expected hash rate after the Ethereum Classic fork. If you missed it, guys, we talked about that in today's live stream. We talked about the price of Bitcoin. And this Thanksgiving special was brought to you by Doge Lord.
Don't delay by today.
Don't delay by today. The links are going to be in the description if you want to go check out any of their collections or stores. I am wearing the shirt from my store, which is Get Involved and Mine Crypto.
There you go.
I will have some new designs and stuff like that in the
You
future.
can watch my screen without me being in the way.
Yeah, that's the sponsor spot image, which I will throw at the end of this video or the end of the stream. But yeah, Doge Lord, thank you for sponsoring this episode of the Thanksgiving special of Caffeine and Crypto.
Look at that sea of green. Oh, so good.
I know, right? It's so beautiful. So beautiful.
So beautiful.
We had a dip last night, but we pulled back up, and I think we're going to be we're forming an ascending wedge, and we might see a little bit downturn. If we go back down, we might dip at the bottom of the 17s and then go back up, or we might go further down. But either way, 30% pullback from our original position would have put us around 13K. Just FYI, guys. So
last night I was like, man, I'm gonna take the other seat and I'm gonna be like Super Bear, and be like, yo, if you were to sit there and take a line from the very, very beginning of Bitcoin's history since day one, and you draw a linear growth line, it's actually it's like between $5,000 and $6,000 Bitcoin is where it should be. If you were to take a line, because all these mega peaks, those are like, anomalies coming off of the bottom line. So people thinking, oh, we should be at 20 grand. It's like, technically, if you take linear growth, it's like just below $6,000.
Well, this is the people's money, and unfortunately, the institutions are getting all happy and getting all in our.
Oh, they're gonna want to drop the market so that they can buy more.
Pick back up, yeah. But this is the people's money, in my opinion, and I don't want it to be, in the hands of governments, institutions, and stuff like that. There's nothing I can do to stop that. But I think the people should be doing their best to get to accumulate.
That's
Bitcoin.
That's where some of the original OG cypherpunks are going. You know what? Bitcoin's dead.
Because because it's already been institutionalized and all that stuff. I know.
Yep.
But the people themselves need to get into Bitcoin and not sleeping on it, so that way they have at least some in the future. But we have 1 minute before I have to get going. Any closing words from anybody? Savage Mind?
Definitely check us out tonight on DCA Adventure for late mining after dark. And we will be talking about the 3080s, like the one that I've got here. And all that good stuff. And we'll have Yashnik on also with a special announcement. So be there or be square.
Yeah. All right. Well, I posted a couple links in the live chat, guys. The first couple links is my live stream yesterday of a 3080 teardown. And then the most recent 2 links are for DCA Adventure. Check them out. Check out the gentleman's individual channels as well. We got Savage Mind, Crypto Mikkel, and Nemesis, or GPU Jesus. They all have individual channels and do some great content. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I appreciate you so much. Stay positive.
Thanks
stay
for
strong.
having me.
No problem. No problem. Anytime. We'll have to do this again. Don't forget, we have a poker tournament coming up in the future. Stay tuned for updates from Yashnik on that, or the Aeon community. It's going to be great. And that's it, guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys around.
Later, man.
Yo.
See ya.
Ciao, everybody.
Don't forget, this episode of Caffeine and Crypto's Thanksgiving special has been brought to you by DogeLord.com.